It's my great honor to introduce the speaker today, Robert Christopher Audia L.M. He was born in San Diego and has resided here ever since. Chris went to the Christ Lutheran Church School and church from the 3rd grade to 8th grade. At that time, he already knew something was not right. He didn't fit in. As Chris was growing up, he was laborer for his father's construction company and spent many years apprenticing to be a journeyman carpenter, an all-around tradesman. His spiritual journey started in 1992, and he was in a group of 4, plus Reverend Bess Davies in a pyramid chapel, singing, table tipping, spirit talking, etc. From there, he went to Fraternal Spiritualist Church for a year, and then 42nd Street Church for spiritualist for a short time, and then finally ended up here at First Christian Spiritualist Church with Reverend Gwen, and became a very close mentor to him. Today, he has become a certified aura healer, Reiki master, message bearer, and he gives messages at our church services on Sundays. He has taken numerous classes with Reverend Deborah and is taking mediumship, message-bearing classes with Reverend Anthony Chapman and Reverend Deborah Demirs. He is currently our licentiate minister and is taking classes to further his spiritual journey. He is at the current time the president of the board of the First Christian Spiritualist Church. And his motto is, always be in the present. Let's welcome warmly, please, Christopher Audia L.M.
Thank you, Reverend Joe. So let's all take a moment and invite our fathers, forefathers, fathers that have passed on the other side. Let's bring them here and have a little fun, okay? It's a pleasure to be here on Father's Day. Today I'm going to speak about the definition, duties, famous fathers, being a father, and also a poem at the end. First, what is the definition of a father? 1, a male parent. 2, a man who has a begotten child, also a male animal, who has sired an offspring. 3, the first person of the Trinity. 4, it also signifies a source protector, nourisher, and authority figure. 'How would you define a father? Being a father is defined by an active presence, responsibility, and an emotional engagement, rather than just biology. It involves nurturing, protecting, and providing for a child by setting a positive example through integrity. A father earns the title dad by being available and involved in the daily life of his children. What are the key elements of being a father? Showing up and being present, being actively involved in small duties, daily moments, baseball games, softball games, Halloween, big events, birthdays, graduations, most events your children love to do. Protection and security, ensuring the physical, emotional, and financial safety of your children. Nurturing and affection, offering love, guidance, and emotional support to create a secure, nurturing environment. Role modeling, demonstrating integrity, honesty, and a strong work ethic to teach children how to navigate life. Respectful partnerships, treating the mother of his children with respect, which teaches children how to form healthy relationships. disciplining with love, teaching right from wrong, guiding behavior in a firm, but fair, and nonviolent manner. Creating joy and fun, engaging in play, using imagination, and fostering a positive, joyous home atmosphere. Fatherhood is an inclusive, lifelong role and often includes adoptive fathers, stepfathers, and father figures who take on these responsibilities. For me, being a father, there's just a few things that fathers do. There are hundreds more, and there'll be more and more every year when children grow and become adults. God knows I fell short quite a few times with these, but certainly have made up for it in other ways. Children can be seen and heard at the same time. My older ones will remember when they were younger what they were taught and have learned. But my younger ones still try to find a way to understand. There's really not an instruction manual on how to be a father or a parent, in a matter of fact. We have our fathers and grandfathers, and sometimes our great-grandfathers that have tutored us along our ways to be fathers, to lead by example. And that's really tough for our children. They're like little sponges. They're watching and mimicking everything we do. And sometimes we don't know we're being watched, but 9 times out of 10, it is relevant to their learning process. I hope that I live many more years to keep being a father to my kids and an example to others. We all make mistakes, but we're human. Being a father is right there between number 1 and number 2 in the most important things in my life. Famous fathers. Mahatma Gandhi, known as the father of India. He led the nonviolent independence. However, his relationship with his own 4 sons were often strained by the strict moral standards. George Washington, often called father of his country. Washington was the first president of the United States and revered as a symbolic figure, father figure to the American people. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, raised 14 children and wrote extensively on fatherhood, emphasizing the importance of leading by example through virtue and morality. Adam. It would be almost impossible to discuss fatherhood without mentioning Adam, the first father ever to run the earth. Joseph. There are a few fatherhood stories in the Bible as inspirational and phenomenal, as a gospel account of Joseph accepting Jesus as his son without a doubt. Joseph was one of the most transformational fathers in the Bible. Last but not least, God the Father, who offers up the most powerful example of what it means to be a good dad. God's love for humanity is shown throughout the Bible, but perhaps the most evident is his decision to send Jesus Christ to die for his sins and mankind. This selfless act was done in a pure love for his creation. It is also in line with God's marvelous characteristics, which the Bible teaches about. So the other day I was meditating and I came through some channeling here. And I'm pretty sure it was George Washington. Because at the end he said, George. So this is what came through. At the time of its inception, our forefathers came together under God's hand, God's love, to create a document of spiritual value. In this document, there are ways in which God has guided us, protected us, and shown us divine ways and inspirations of living. This fine document that we created constitutes how we understood the Almighty Lord wanted us to live and govern. Let us remember this day, Father's Day, created by God, the Father Almighty. This world would not exist if there weren't for our forefathers and mothers. But today, we'll be talking about fathers. Hardworking, loving, understanding, seeing our purposes and then guiding us. There is no manual on becoming a father. Being a father is like going through a school of hard knocks. When you're young, you learn, and you may make many mistakes along the way. But we learn from those mistakes and learn to carve out our own ways of being a father. All fathers are different. All fathers parent differently. The biggest common denominator is that fathers love their children unconditionally, each one of them. When God gave it to us, it was a gift. It was a gift to see who we are and what we become, and what we will become. A glimmer of light. Thank you, God, for sharing your only begotten Son with us. For without him, we would be lost. But he has shown us a bright light on all of us still to this day. Many are still learning, but with God's help, everything works out. I'll leave you with these thoughts. So here's a poem that came through. I found this poem and it didn't have an author or anything to it. In the quiet strength of a father's embrace, God's love shines through a sacred space. With wisdom and grace, he guides our way. A beacon of hope, come what may. Through trials and joys, he stands by our side. In faith and in love, he takes us in stride. With prayers whispered soft and laughter so bright, he teaches us courage to stand upright. So here's to the fathers, both gentle and strong. In God's perfect plan, we truly belong. May blessings surround you today and always. Happy Father's Day in all your ways. Thank you for allowing me to be of service to you. God bless you.